Matt, we had to cling on at the end, but that was a superb result tonight.
Clinging on's a certain statement. They've not really hurt us at the end. They had pressure naturally. There was only one goal in it. We deserved to win that game of football, and probably deserved to win it by a bigger margin than what it was. I was really pleased with that performance on a difficult surface. We looked like we had a fit about us, and we were strong when we needed to be strong. Their goal kind of came out of nothing, if I'm being brutally honest. We were comfortable at 2-0, and then the goal just gives them something to believe in, and then you get a little bit edgy, but Jokkel's not really had to make a save towards the last 20 minutes of that game. I thought we deserved to win.
Tonight first, Robbie Wilmot's first goal and Ben Seymour's
What a moment, what a moment. Great moment for Robbie, and another good performance, which is a real plus for us. And then the goal made in our academy, in Dan Green's bedroom, with all those session plans he does and all those sessions he's done over the years. And unfortunately, the only downside, look, Josh was under the weather tonight. He spent the whole of half time on the toilet, and he's on the toilet now. So for him to put in that performance, I thought Josh Key was absolutely outstanding tonight. But he just couldn't get through that second half. And then we weren't disjointed, but we had to change a few bits and pieces around. But what a delivery and what a header for Ben Seymour's first league goal.
Well, I was going to mention Josh Key. If that's him on feeling under the weather, then...
Well, that's actually happened a couple of times now this season, so we've got to be careful in terms of what he has for pre-match, but he's obviously reacted to something, and he was struggling through the first half, but God, he gave us an attacking outlet. When the middle of the pitch was so difficult to play through, his legs were just a constant threat down that right-hand side, and it was a shame we had to bring him off when he signalled towards the end, but like I say, I just hope it's not took too much out of him for the weekend.
Ben Seymour knew, and he said earlier in the week that with Ryan Bowman suspended that he knew he'd get a chance. You must be really proud of how he responded.
Yeah, but no, the goal is a reward for the performance, and he put himself about, and let's be honest, some of our delivery wasn't great today, and it was never going to be. He's not feeding off scraps, but he's just got to work their back line, and I felt he did that. And the goal was a reward for his constant effort and endeavour, and then we brought Fish on just to help him out in terms of a bit of physicality. It'll change again this weekend. Ben Seymour can't play every minute of every game, but he's got a goal to his name, which has been a long time coming, and hopefully this is a foundation for him to build on.
We saw you make the triple substitution. I think Alex Fisher was there warming up as well. What was the reason for delaying Fisher coming on?
Well, the Josh Key one. So all of a sudden we had to get Jake Caprice ready because the Josh Key was obviously staying on, and then we got the shout across the signal that he was obviously too unwell to continue. So then we had to sort of change it a little bit with Jake Caprice, and then I didn't want to do all four at the same time. So 3 was enough in that section, and then obviously Fish for Jola. But Joel Randall's first game back in terms of real substantial minutes. So it's a really positive night for the club, and I said it last week, and it's worth saying another 5 academy players on that starting lineup and countless on the bench and in the squad, and we're still competing where we want to compete.
I must admit, I didn't see too much of Colchester's goal because I was still posted about our second. I mean, what were you thinking when that went in?
Well, I'll be honest with you, myself and Wayne and Green were just starting to talk about how to show up the game a little bit. We felt comfortable, and I think it came from a throw-in, and maybe someone's runner just came off the shoulder, so it felt like it just came out of nothing. And then all of a sudden their tails were up a little bit, and we withstood a little bit of pressure, but we still had a punch about us. So if we'd have not come away with 3 points, I'd have been bitterly disappointed, because we deserved to win that game.
10 points from 12, 3 of which have been away from home.
Doesn't feel like it though, does it? Because it's been so disjointed. It's incredible. All of a sudden we seem to be in a good run, but it's come across probably a month and a half of fixtures with so many games called off. But we know those games are to come, and hopefully with the weather turning, and all of a sudden you could see, instead of a wet pitch, it was a bobbly pitch. So we're dealing with different challenges constantly, but the lads have come through it.
And the game played, you mentioned the surface there, that perhaps we might be have at home soon when
without a shadow of a doubt, ours will be no better than that, and that's just through bad weather and games of football. I mean, you can see it behind me, and there was times where players kicked out of play and almost got stuck in the mud and the sand, but ours will be no different in the next coming weeks. I imagine Crawley's won't be too dissimilar, so we've got to find a way of being effective, and without maybe a physical presence at the top of the pitch, i.e. Ryan, we still found a way today.
It was nice to see Lewis Page come through unscathed today as well.
Yeah, look, he was fatigued at the end, bit of cramp, and we'll have to be mindful of his body going into the weekend. And Jacko, again, I just said to the boys that the 4 who came on made a difference and made us better. Whether it was Nigel heading out from the Nice's crossbar, Fish or Jacko making tackles in front of myself here and then driving the ball, or Jake Caprice releasing out. Substitutions have got to make us better. Certainly when the pitches are draining like they are and the team is in a position it is, substitutions have got to strengthen the team as they happen, and it's the hardest thing to do, to sit behind you cold, sit behind myself in a dugout cold, and then come and affect a game where it's just heat of battle. But we managed to do that tonight, and we'll have to keep on doing that.
Quickly on to Saturday, back in this part of the world at Crawley, likes of Ben Seymour must be buzzing about ahead of that.
Yeah, but it's one game. It's one game. It's a good game for them, but it's one game for them to build on and take a bit of confidence. Saturday will be a different game, different personnel, possibly different formations and so on and so forth, and we've got to keep on freshening up. I've used the phrase time and time again in the last few weeks about inputting energy onto the football pitch, and we seem to have that in abundance tonight. We'll see how they are. We're going to treat them to a McDonald's tonight. I know everyone wants to know what they eat and drink and when they sleep, so we're going to treat them to a McDonald's because the McDonald's just around the corner, so they'll have a couple of cheeseburgers tonight, and then we're in a hotel for the rest of the evening, travel back the rest of the way, do a bit of training with the ones who didn't get the minutes tomorrow, day off Thursday, so that's our week at the moment. Eat, sleep, rave, repeat.
I'll also be getting a McDonald's tonight. Looking forward to it.
Brilliant.
Thanks a lot.
No problem.